I swear, there seems to be a bit of a problem here with me doing things in advance of me being able to really be able to do things. I don't know how this is going to work, but I got a piece of mail here today. Literally, 8 hours after I started posting things on Facebook about this kind of thing. Congratulations, you're the winner of a such and such Tim card. Roll up the rim to win special edition. The Tim Hortons would like to thank you for your participation in our promotion and trust you will enjoy using your new card. Tim card attached has been preloaded with blah blah blah. You can immediately begin using your Tim card at any participating location. Please remember to register your new Tim card online. Yes, I bet I will. We'd love for you to share your winning story in air quotes. We'd love for you to share your in air quotes winning story on social media by using the hashtags. And then there's two of these fucking things, and they don't make any sense whatsoever. It's not even English. Join the conversations on Twitter and Instagram using blah blah blah, and then another card number. Yeah, here on Black and White Bus. Your machine's busted. Bumper stickers! I'm coming to you here on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday for me. God only knows what it is for you. Probably got to ask Julius Caesar or somebody. I don't know. Got here a little email I sent a while back. It's dated for January 3rd, I believe, 2016. R.E. disrespecting words in the comment box there. Anyhow, sent it to a person who, I actually heard about him on YouTube not that long ago, so I'm going to put up what my email to this person was. Hey, Justin, I'm writing to you. I'm sorry. Let me get this again. I'm writing you in here first because I want this to be public, if you'd like. Please consider the part written below as a submission for a letter to the editor or something very clearly marked opinion. And before I get writing it down, I wanted to tell you another short anecdote that involves my past. I once sent a physical letter to a previous editor of The Independent many years ago and said inside he could print the letter if he paid me $5 for the content. Very tongue-in-cheek, and I doubt I still have a copy of it myself. Then later in life, same guy flips political parties like a pancake in the air. Without further ado, with very warm wishes for 2016, I leave you to decide what to do with what's below. I might well publish it on Facebook anyhow, but you're getting first kick at this, Catma. And then follows this piece. It's very short. The dichotomous childhood poem problem. I have a mental logjam that must be decades old, and here, quickly, is the reason why. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but A, words hurt even more. Or B, words can never hurt me. So how to resolve that issue, Suppose I could toss it up in the air for a referendum on the matter. Let everyone decide between two options which have flaws. Because A, if true, is hyperbolic in most cases, which is to say, very badly misrepresented. And in those cases where the words in question have an obvious cost in terms of respect and or long-term financial standing, they may even be legal precedents at which to point. But that would be something which requires proof, i.e., slander or libel. Whereas B, if true, is an absolute statement versus the relativism of A that is obviously going to fail in the weight of popular opinion if the weight of popular opinion should happen to change. Words might eventually hurt quite a lot, sure. There are many words which can potentially result in severe prejudice and that frequently lead to violence and loss of life, either by mischance, misdeeds, self-harm, or a combination of factors. Why my confusion? Stuck between the relativism devil and the deep blue absolute. I find it easier to remember B as a personal rule of thumb while endeavoring to mostly avoid words which would definitely cause harm to someone. That's to say, I prefer the catma in A to the dogma in B. This, however, requires that I personally be prepared to defend against dogmatic applications of a relative standard. I think it's a very bad idea to err on the side of caution for emotional states that have nothing to do with malicious, premeditated harm, and insisting that any and all words hurt even more. They do not. But how else to word it? Words, if maliciously applied, might hurt even more. More honest, but it loses the meter. Suggestions hiding as facts are not acceptable. I mean, uncalled for. What would the reader later report to the pollster on the telephone? Ideas, when suppressed, is in the burrow of thought crime. Don't tell me I didn't call it years ago. Either way, nope. There's more interpretations. Please be free, but not because I said so. Best regards for 2016, Jim Parsons. And of course, that was current year. That year. It's all one long day. Happy Tuesday. Waiting for this render to finish as I do so. I was thinking more about the whole relativism thing. Here we go. Let me prove my prior credentials. It was a family picnic, made easy by Jubal's informality, plus the fact that the newcomers were the same sort. Each learned, acclaimed, with no need to strive. Even Dr. Mahmoud, rarely off guard with those who did not share the one true faith in submission to the will of God, always beneficent, merciful, found himself relaxed. It had pleased him greatly that Jubal read the words of the prophet. And now that he stopped to notice, the women of Jubal's household were plumper than he had thought. That dark one, he put the thought out of his mind. He was a guest. But it pleased him that these women did not chatter, did not intrude into sober talk of men, but were quick with food and drink in warm hospitality. He had been shocked at Miriam's disrespect towards her master, then recognized it. A liberty permitted cats and favorite children in the privacy of the home. Jubal explained what they were simply waiting on the Secretary General. If he means business, we will hear from him soon. If we had stayed in the palace, he would have been tempted to dicker. Here we can refuse to dicker. Dicker for what? Asked Captain Von Tromp. You gave him what he wanted. Not all he wanted. Douglas would rather have it be irrevocable, going on good behavior with the power reverting to the man he detests, namely, scoundrel with an innocent smile. Our brother Ben. I gotta try thinking southern accent here just a tiny bit. But I was wanting to dicker too. That bland Buddha Kung hates my guts. Snatched the rug out from under him. But if you could figure out a deal that might tempt us, he would offer it. So we stay at his way too. Kung's one reason why we're eating and drinking nothing that we did not fetch. You feel there's something to worry about? Asked Nelson. Jubal, I assumed you were a gourmet who demanded his own cuisine. Can't imagine you being poisoned in a hotel such as this. Jubal shook his head sorrowfully. Sven, nobody wants to poison you, but your wife might collect your insurance because you shared a dish with Mike. You really think so? Sven, I call room service for anything you want. But I won't touch it, and I won't let Mike touch it. They know where we are, and they've had a couple of hours in which to act, so I must assume that any waiters on Kung's payroll, maybe 2 or 3 others. My prime worry is to keep the lad alive while we sterilize the power he represents. Jubal frowned. Consider the black widow spider. Timid little beastie, useful, the prettiest of arachnids, with its patent leather finish and its hourglass trademark. But the poor thing has the misfortune of too much power for its size, so everybody kills it. Black Widow can't help it. It has no way to avoid that venomous power. Mike's in the same dilemma. He isn't as pretty as a Black Widow. Why, Jubal, Dorcas said indignantly. What a mean thing to say, and how untrue. Child, I don't have your glandular bias. Pretty or not, Mike can't get rid of that money, nor is it safe for him to have it. Not just Kung. High Court is not as non-political as it might be, though their methods would make a prisoner out of him rather than kill him. A fate which, for my taste, is worse. Not to mention other interested parties, in and out of office who have turned over in their minds how it would be to affect their fortunes if Mike were the guest of honor at a funeral. Hi. Telephone, boss. Ann, you hail from Pollock? No, Dallas. I will not answer that phone. She said to tell you it was Becky. Why didn't you say so? Jubal hurried out of the room, found Madame Vizant's face on the screen. Becky, I'm glad to see you, girl. Hi, Doc. I caught you act. Had a look. I never seen a tip turn more expertly. Doc, the profession lost a great talker when you weren't born twins. That's high praise, Becky. Jubal thought rapidly. But you set up the act. I just cashed in on it, and there's plenty of cash, so name your fee, Becky. Madame Vizant frowned. You've hurt my feelings. Becky, anyone can clap and cheer, but applause worthwhile will be found in a pile of soft, green folded money. That man from Mars picks up this tab, and believe me, he can afford it. He grinned. All you've got to get from me is a hug and a kiss that'll crap your ribs. She relaxed and smiled. I remember how you used to pat my fanny when you assured me the professor was sure to get well. Always can make a body feel better. I keep changing the accent here. Surely I never did understand anything so unprofessional. You know you did. You weren't fatherly about it either. Oh, maybe it was the treatment you needed. If I'd given up fanny patting, well, I'll make an exception in your case. You better. And you better figure out that fee. Don't forget the zeros. Doc, there are more ways of collecting a fee than by counting a fast count on the change, than by making a fast count on the change. Have you been watching the market today? No, and don't tell me. Come have a drink instead. Oh, I better not. I promised. Well, rather important client to be available. Oh, I see, Becky. Would the stars show that this matter would turn out best for everybody if it were signed and sealed today? Maybe just after the market closes? She looked up thoughtful. I'll look into it. Do, and come visit us. You like the boy. He's as weird as a snake's suspenders, but sweet as a stolen kiss. I will. Thanks, Doc. Then said goodbye. Jubal found that Dr. Nelson had taken Mike into the bedroom to examine him. Surgeon was looking baffled. Doctor, Nelson said, saw the patient only 10 days ago. Tell me where he got those muscles. Well, I sent in a coupon from Rut, the magazine for He-Man. You know, they had tells how 90-pound weakling can't. Doctor, please, why not ask him? Nelson did so. I think them, Mike answered. That's right, Jubal agreed. He think them. When I got him last week, he was a mess, slat, flabby, and pale, looked as if he'd been raised in a cave. A gather he was. So I told him to grow strong. He did. Exercises? Nelson said doubtfully. Some swimming. A few days swimming won't make a man look as if he'd been sweating over barbells for years. Nelson frowned. I know Mike has control of the so-called involuntary muscles, but that is precedent. However, this requires one to assume. Doctor, Jubal said gently, why not admit you don't grok it? Nelson sighed. Might as well. Put on your clothes, Mike. It's page 207 through 209, the copy I have of Stranger in a Strange Land.